Good morning. Okay, feet apart, tummy in, spread the toes, lift them up and drop them down. And then lengthen the spine, pull the tummy in. Let's roll the shoulders, up, back and down. Breathing in to lift and out to lower. Breathing in to lift and out to lower. One more time, please. And then hands coming on shoulders, big circles. So draw in a circle with the elbow at the same time. Squeeze the shoulder blades together behind the back. And just one more, please. Good, arms coming down. Let's move through side bend. So I want the hips to stay still. Working from the waist upwards, which means we pull the tummy in and we tighten up the glutes. Super. Two more. Brill. Come to pelvis. Grip the pelvis. Soften the knees. And just start to move through pelvic tilt. So opening out in that lumbar spine, releasing the hips. And then you can stay with tilt or you can circle the hips around. So just coming into hips and lower back. From different directions, circle the other way and keep your knees soft, please. Brill. Coming back to center, let's have a look at upper spine. Hands on shoulders, breathe in. Breathe out and turn the shoulders to the right. Come back to center. I want your nose to stay central there of your arms. So not moving the neck really, just rotating across the upper back. We'll come to neck next. Breathing out to turn. And then pushing the arms forwards, coming into bow and arrow, and now we turn the head so that we feel the neck stretch as well. So shoulders, upper back, and then follow through with the neck. So we want a slight nod of the chin. So we've got that feeling of lengthening of the back of the neck. So creating space between those discs at the back. Two more. Last one. Drop the arms, come a little bit narrower. Can we reach up, lift the rib cage, come across. And come back down. Lengthen up first, lift. Come across. Good. Squeeze the glutes, pull the tummy in, keep the hips still. Weight stays even. And two more, please. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come back. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to come back and then release our whole spine. Super. Okay, standing on the left leg. Right toe in front, we lift. Flex and point. Rotate slowly. So wrist and ankle mobility. Go the other way. And change, forward and lift, tummy in, tighten up the bottom, flex and point. Rotate. Other way. And relax, shake it off. Okay, narrow feet, small split stance, so toe and heel in line, but little gap between them. Open the chest, tummy in, hip hinge. Moving slowly forward, breathing into hinge. And breathing out to come up. Super, let's keep that moving. So we'll have a couple more here, just moving at your own pace. Knees stay soft, tummy is pulled in. Leading with the chest, not letting the head drop. Got one more here, please. Breathing in on the way down. Nice long spine. Super, release the hands, leave your feet where they are. Rocking forward, coming up, balancing. Arms can be chest height or all the way over the head. Come on down, sway back, pick up the toes. Lengthen, inhale. Exhale, coming down, swaying back. Super. One more here. And we are going to keep the right leg in front, but can we step back on the left foot wide now and stretch the calf? Knees over ankles. We're going to do dynamic stretch. We're going to keep moving. So we're going to lengthen up, breathe in. Come down, press the heel and squeeze the arms into dart. So draw the scapulas down and together. Inhaling up. Staying relaxed through the shoulders, long through the neck as you squeeze. Front knee remaining over ankle. So body weight is shifting upwards rather than forwards. Last one. Pump the arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come on up. Give everything a shake. Have a release. And we'll repeat everything on the other side. So, got left leg in front. Right leg back, heel down. Oh, hang on. No, not there. This one first. Hands behind the back. Hip hinge. Forward we go. Breathing in on the way down. And out on the way up. Don't you love Monday mornings? Breathing in, knees soft. And breathing out. So we're going to do 2 more here. And I want you to feel that your hamstring is stretching on the way down. So go far enough to feel it stretch. And then squeeze the bottom to come up. And if your hamstrings are tight, you might not get very far, but as long as you feel the stretch, that's fine. From here, we're coming up and holding in neutral, and then onto the toes. Pushing the big toe into the floor, maintaining the neutral spine. One more. Good. Bigger step back. Same action, coming into dart. Inhaling up. So this time the front heel stays on the floor. Back heel is lifting. As we press down, we squeeze to dot. Brace the abdominals. Lengthening up rather than pressing forwards. Our last one. Holding back, pumping the arms. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Up you come. Give everything a shake. Super. Come into the squat position and onto your thighs. Can we pelvic tilt here? So I want you to keep your shoulders and your head still. And your focus is on the lower and the mid section of the back. So just come into those bottom couple of ribs. Now there shouldn't be any pain in extension, so don't force it. So we're going flexion, neutral, and then optional extension. Just give me one more, please. And then roll all the way up. And give everything a bit of a shake there. Grab your band, please. So we're going to fold the band in half. We're going to bring the feet into that rotated first position. Squeeze the glutes, float the arms. Straighten up those knees if you can. Lengthen, come across to the right corner of the ceiling, breathe in. Breathe out, come up. And over the other way, breathing in. Let your hip go now if it wants to go. Come on up. If that's too much load on the back, if there is pain, don't push the hip, just move from the waist. So moving from the hip or the waist, breathing in and breathing out. So last one, we're going to keep our feet in rotation. Come on down, side lunge. Follow through with that big rotation of the upper back. So this can be as fast or as slow as you want it to be. So if your knees are not good, make it a bit slower. Otherwise, make it a bit more dynamic. Can you rotate a little bit further? We're going to do 1 or 2 more. We're going to finish on the left. And come back. Keep hold of your band. Give everything a good shake. Let's have our feet parallel now. Toe slide with a knee lift. Lifting up to chest height and balancing. Chest height. Hip height, not chest height. Chest height with the band. Hip height with the knee. Got there in the end. Can we slide, lift and hold? Rotate the upper body. So if that's right for you, stay with it. If you want a little bit more of a progression, I'm going to go knee lift with a rotation. Come back to center. Leg extension. Shoulder extension. And step down. I'm going to repeat on the other side. Knee lift with a rotation. Leg extension, shoulder extension. So again, make that as big or as small as feels correct for you. So our first goal is obviously to challenge the balance, but your second goal is to mobilize the knees and hips and shoulders. So if you can do that, please do. But don't lift your leg too high if it's giving you any kind of back or knee pain. So we'll keep moving. We'll have a few more of these. And it might be that you just want to take your leg to the front, or you just want to take your leg to the back. And that's okay. I'm going to do one more set on each side. I'm going to make sure I finish on the left side. And then give everything a good old shake. Can we get rid of our band now? And let's bring in our hog if we can. So we're going to look at squat. If you don't want to do it on your hog, that's fine. Do it on the floor. So hog is rocking backwards and forwards. Right foot is out to the side. Feet are level, so make sure this one's not backwards or forwards. They are side by side. Sit back, squat. Come up, lift your right heel and balance. Let's just keep moving through that sequence. As if everything feels okay, press into the hog, lift the knee, arms chest height, knee to the side, both arms out, close back up, and step down. So we squat, and you can just heel lift if you want to. We knee lift, open chest and hip, and close. I'm going to do 2 more on this side. Sit back, squat. My last one, so I'm going to come onto the hog and just have a pedal, and then let's go to the other side. So right foot in the middle, sitting back, squatting, weight even through the legs, just lifting the heel to start. So heel raise, nice long shoulder stretch, just firing up the core, pressing into the hog. And if that's enough, that's where you stay. You can maybe do a shoulder squeeze there. But if you're ready to lift your knee and shoulder squeeze. Open the hip and close. So you can do one or the other. You don't have to do them all. You might just want to lift your heel, or you might just want to lift your knee but not open your hip. Next one is the last one. Onto the hug when you're ready. Guys, from here, side squat right and left. Now, if that's a bit stressful on knees, hips or back, just stay with a static squat. So don't move your feet and just squat, otherwise you're moving right and left. And then if that's okay and you want a bit more of a challenge, heel off the floor, toe down, lunge off the back. So try not to stay vertical, hinge the hip as you squat, as you lunge even. So we are now either squatting or lunging, moving or holding. I want you to give me 3 or 4 more. I want you to finish on whichever leg you didn't start on. So I started on my right, I'm going to finish on my left. Super. Come off and give your legs A good old shake and have a release there. Super. Okay, we are going to come into our roll down next. So maybe you want to put your mat down, maybe you don't want to use that yet. So let's see how we go. Feet parallel, pelvis and spine in neutral. Arms coming up, inhaling. Arms coming down, exhaling. Nod your chin. Round your shoulders. Just roll to your bra strap. Knees are soft. Shoulders are relaxed. Pull the belly button in and roll up. Super. Inhaling. Arms down, exhale, nod round and roll. So you're going to keep this moving at your own pace. You are going to lead with your head because we want the spine to curve. So we are no longer doing a hip hinge, we are doing a roll. And you're going as far down as feels right for you, but you're trying to include all the components of your back. So if you're ready to go low, but don't get there too quickly. Pace yourself, use your breaths. Once you're down there, if you feel like you want to sway your arms or hold your elbows or any of those, just get some traction on the spine in a way that feels right for you. So we'll all be slightly different. Some of you will enjoy the stretch, others might have back pain. So if you've got back pain, you need to support yourself or maybe not go as low. So as and when you're ready with this, we're going to bring in downward dog for those that can. So we're stretching forwards, and we're stretching shoulders and hamstrings and hips. Options for downward dog, making sure the upper body is still, and then pedaling the feet or holding the stretch. And if you're ready to go into some strength work, you can add a plank, and we just hold that for a couple of breaths. And or 2 press-ups on your toes or your knees. So let's keep that moving at our own pace. Rolling down, optional downward dog plank press up, or you might be ready to just come onto the floor and do cat stretch. And so this is just going to be led by you, whatever you need to do to release your spine, your shoulders and your hips. And if you're ready for strength work, add strength work. And if you're not, that's fine. Wait till we get to the floor. So go through your last sequence slowly. And once you've finished, put down your mat, tip your screen and join me on the floor, please. So once I'm on the floor, I'm going to roll my spine through a full cat stretch. I'm going to include my shoulders and my neck, but I'm going to make sure the movement starts at the bottom of my spine and rolls through slowly to the top of the spine. Make sure you tip your screen before you come onto the floor if you can, so that hopefully I can see you. I know you all know what you're doing in this class, so don't worry too much. Got all the experts on today. So once you've released your spine, sit back into shelf. Maybe release your wrists or stretch your arms or take your hands to your ankles. But just take a little bit of a rest wherever you want it. And take some breaths. Brill. Hands under shoulders, support the body weight, and uncurl. So we're going to do Superman next. So if you can kneel on your hog, please kneel on the smooth side of your hog. If you're happier on the floor or a block, that's okay. So all fours. If you're on the floor, have your knees hip width apart. If you're on the hog, you need your knees together. My back is flat, my abs are pulled in. I'm going right arm to the side, left leg to the back. Guys, I'm going to stay on this side for 8. I'm going to keep my spine completely still. I'm going to keep my left arm still, and I can feel I've got body weight in it. My left elbow is soft. My shoulders and hips are square to the floor. And I'm going to try to get a bit more height in my arm and my leg. So squeezing into the glute and the upper back. I've got one more on this side. And then I'm changing smoothly to the other side. So if you are on the floor, then your left knee should be right under your left hip. If you're on the hog, you need your knee in the middle of the hog for stability. And if you are on the hog, make sure the toe is tucked under at the back. If you're on the floor, then the ankle is just relaxed. Make sure we're getting height, opening the chest at the front, strengthening into the scapulas at the back. So going 4, 3, 2, and 1. I'm coming off the back of the hog. And then cat or shell. So we're going to come back to Superman in a second. So that's why we're only doing one set. So pull the body weight, uncurl the spine. And so now I'm going to do the tricep variation. So you can do this either with your band or your dumbbell. So up to you, or you can just do it with your body weight. So I'm going to rest on my dumbbells. My leg is doing the same thing as it did before, but this time my right hand is moving from my hip. I'm going to do 8 again. Breathing out to push and in to come back. Shoulders and hips square to the floor. Give me 8 on the right and 8 on the left, please, because we will do a second set of tricep once we get to the floor. So I'm on 7 and 8. And then changing to the other side, having a little release if you need to. So head is in line with spine, hips and shoulders square to the floor. Elbows remaining soft, weight is in the core and the upper body. Super. Make sure the arm is moving directly backwards, not out to the side. Backwards and upwards. And you've probably got about 2 to go, unless you've been counting and you know differently. When you finish, guys, get rid of the weights, release the spine, release the wrists, release the shoulders. Just taking some breaths. Hands under shoulders, uncurl. Coming down onto your bottom. Seated position, weights either side, and ball behind. So digging my heels in, lining the ball up with my tailbone, and then just moving it back a couple of inches. Right up on the bum bones, chest is open and breathing in. Breathing out, scooping and rolling, just checking everything is where I want it to be, adjusting if it isn't, and then inhaling. Exhaling, releasing the hands, rolling into a bow and arrow if you can. So I'm breathing in to lengthen and breathing out to scoop and roll. So keep that moving. Add a dumbbell if you want to add a dumbbell. And you can take those rotations from 1 to a maximum of 4 if that feels okay. If you're just happier with that long, slow roll into a bow and arrow, that's fine. They're all working the body slightly differently, and one might suit you more than the other. So don't feel you've always got to take the strength variation. It might be that you're better with the mobility or the flexibility. So last set. So when you're ready, get rid of the weights. Legs were wide and bent and we're forward in that slump stretch. Uncurling the spine. So coming down onto the back when you're ready. Have your weights either side of you. We're going to do that set of tricep we've talked about before, but come down first, let's have a stretch. So I've got my block under my head, I'm hugging my knees in, I'm drawing a circle with my hips. You might be more comfortable with your feet on the floor in a hip roll, and that's fine. So make sure you've been in both directions. And then just place the feet on the floor and pick up your weights for tricep. So pushing up over the chest, knuckles are facing outwards, and then pressing the shoulder blades down. Now engage the abs, come to tabletop if you can, knees over hips, shins parallel to the ceiling, coming into either a single tricep press or a double. And then if you're happy to add a leg pattern, you can go a toe tap to the floor or a single leg stretch away. Super. Well done, let's keep that moving. So double or single arms, just a single leg. Breathing out as the arms come down. Sorry, breathing out as the arms push up even. 2 more here. Breathing any way you like, just make sure you breathe. And then relax for me, come on in and come on down. Good. Can we go full body stretch, please? Arms can be over the head or out to the side, but allow your back to lift away from the mat and just breathe into the diaphragm. Bring your arms over. Draw your legs back, please. Hug the knees back into the chest. And then from here, just keep hold of the right leg. Slide your left leg away and just pull on that right leg and open the hip. It might be that you hold behind the leg rather than on the shin. Just circle the right ankle around, please. Keep lengthening the left leg away. Circle the other way. And then change legs, please. Sliding the right leg is on the floor. Left ankle circling. So a good pull on the left leg. Holding on the front of the back of the leg. Circle the other way. And then both knees coming in. Peel your head and shoulders off the floor. Support the head if you need to. Single leg stretch away this time, not touching the floor. And so bringing your knee into your tummy is a bit easier than having your knee over your hip. So if you can stop your knee at hip level rather than coming all the way in, that's going to load a bit more into your abdominals. And you can be supporting your head or holding your leg, keeping a space between your chin and your chest, putting your head back down if you're finding you've got a lot of stress on the neck. If you're able to, rotate, elbow to knee, again not bringing that knee in too far or pulling on the leg, but trying to keep knee over hip rather than it coming into your tummy if that's okay for your back. Super. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come on down. Brilliant. Guys, let's take our feet mat width apart, arms out to the side, palms up, and just roll your hips slowly and gently right and left. You can turn your head the opposite way to your legs if that feels good. It's quite a big roll, so do it slowly. Couple more. Coming back to center, please. Brill. Can we roll onto the side of the body? That brings you to face me. And then grab your ball. Options, ball under the bottom foot, bit easier. Ball between the ankles, bit harder. So stack the hips, pull the tummy in. Gonna take a breath in. As I breathe out, I'm gonna float my arm, my legs, and maybe my head and shoulders. If that's too much, then just lift the top leg or keep the head down. So whatever is correct for you. I'm gonna change the arm pattern. My hand is coming on my thigh as I drop down. My arm is extending over my head as I lift. Now that's a bit harder, so if you want to go back to having your arm in front, that's fine. And then your hardest option, if everything feels okay, as you come down, bend your knee, grab your ball, stretch, goes back between the feet, and we stretch. So frog legs, so we are working more into the hips. Guys, when you do frog legs, you will roll back a little bit, and that's okay, as long as when you come back here, you stack your hips again. So don't stay rolled back, but roll back to grab the ball, and then restack the hips. Couple more, please. And so it doesn't matter whether it ends up between your feet or your hands, because we're going to put the ball on the floor. And then come down and relax. Take your top leg over your bottom leg so that the hips roll forwards rather than back this time. Stretch the hip and the lower back. Super. So I want you to leave your leg there if you can. If you've got knee pain, maybe just stick a ball under it, but leave it on the floor otherwise. Palms together, and then rotate and open slowly. So breathing in to open, and breathing out to close. I do want you to make sure your head moves as you do this. So make sure your head's fairly near the front of the hog. As you roll and open, and then close back up slowly. Good. So let's make the next one our last one. Brilliant. Guys, from here, either roll over or go down the other end of your mat, please. So, ball starts between the feet or underneath the bottom foot. Hips are stacked. So if you're able to start with your hand on your thigh straight away, go from there. Otherwise, it's in front for a bit more support. Breathing in, breathing out to lift the legs. Float the arm if you can, lift the head and shoulders. And come down. So we're going to leave the ball between the feet for now. What I want you to think about is your hips not rolling. So we're not rolling back to show, we're staying stacked. So we want to know that we can do that first before we add anything more complicated. And that might be enough for you. But when you're ready, can we go frog legs? So grab the ball, roll back a little bit, but as you extend, restack your hips and reach. Keep it long and slow. Got 4 to go. Restacking every time. Choosing a different option if the one you're doing doesn't feel like it's working for you. And it doesn't matter whether the ball finishes between your feet or between your hands, because we are going to get rid of it. And then take the top leg over the bottom leg when you're finished, please. So just have a stretch there. If there's knee or hip pain, then get the ball underneath it. Leave the leg where it is. Head near the front of the hog, hands together. Opening out, rolling across the hug, eyes following hand, stretching neck, chest, back and waist, closing up as and when you are ready. Moving slowly through those positions. Next one will be your last one. Super. When you're ready, come onto your back, please. And then hog's probably too much under your head. So maybe get something smaller or lie flat on your mat. And then let's just pop the right ankle on the left knee, open the right hip, arms out. If that gives you hip, back or knee pain, feet are on the floor as we roll the hips slowly from right to left. Now, if there is no joint pain, you can take that left foot off the floor as you roll from right to left, and that will give you a deeper stretch in your bottom. But if it loads too much into the joint, you are better with your foot on the floor. You'll still get the stretch around the hip, into the waist, into the lower back. And when you've been both ways, change legs, please. Start with your foot on the floor and just see how it feels on that side. Sometimes different things are happening on different sides. And then when you're ready, you can take your right leg to tabletop if it feels okay. Must be able to keep the shoulders down and mustn't be loading too much into the joints. It should just feel like mobility and stretch. And so with the back nice and loose, do an even amount, come back to center, pop your feet on the floor, and then can you take your ball or hog between your knees or feet? So we're going to work our waist next. So hug between the knees at tabletop, a little bit easier. Toes to the ceiling, a bit more challenging. Hands are on the rib cage, shoulders are down. Dropping 45 degrees to the right. Coming back up, dropping 45 degrees to the left. Breathing in as we drop and out as we lift. Keeping the shoulders on the floor. Keeping the whole thing slow. If everything's okay, fingertips can go to the ceiling, shoulders pressed down. And then I'm breathing in to drop and out to lift. Can we have one or two more, please? I want you to finish legs left. Once you've done that, come back to center. Get rid of whatever you're using. And can you give me big starfish stretch to the four corners of the mat? And just breathe slowly through that stretch. Bring your arms over, please. Can you draw your legs back in, and can you just give me some short range pelvic tilts, either with your heels on the floor and your knees to the ceiling, or harder option, soles of the feet together, knees out to the side. Just short range flexion extension. So you don't really want your bum to leave the floor for this one. So we're not loading and adding strength. We're thinking about mobility of the lower back. We're thinking about opening the hips if you're in the diamond shape with the legs, and we're drawing up on the pelvic floor as we tilt. So pelvic floor recruitment really important. Pull down on the belly button, pull up on the pelvic floor. You can do that whether your feet are together or they're on the mat. Let's do 2 more here. And just 1 more. And relax. Knees coming together if they're not there already. And then can we grab our chi ball and take it under our pelvis, our tailbone. Nothing under the head, so remove anything that's under your head and neck there. Working on pelvic stability. So put your fingertips on your hips or the floor. Brace your abdominals and lift to tabletop. Super. From here, can we go single leg stretch? Knee coming into tabletop. If everything is okay, hands coming off the floor, shoulders pressing down. Arms coming into scissor, if everything's okay there. So the key to this one is to work slowly, long and slow, so that we load the abs but we stabilise through the pelvis. We stabilise through the shoulders, we make sure they're not rounding off the mat. Back of the neck is lengthened. Drawing down on the belly button, keeping the rib cage from flaring, please. Just give me 2 more, and we are going to stay with the ball underneath us. When you've done your last one, just give me a full body stretch or a starfish stretch and a couple of breaths. And then we're going to try a hip opener here. So please draw your arms back over and place your palms on the floor. Draw your legs back in one at a time and come back up to tabletop. Good. Guys, can you take your toes to the ceiling? Rotate your feet out and flex them so you're in first position. Now, frog leg down, frog leg up, toes come back together. Rotate, frog leg down, frog leg up, toes come back together. If you can lower your legs just to where the ceiling meets the wall, go there. So we load the abs. We come back up, we rotate into frog leg. Now, if that leg drop is too much, then don't do it. So loading into the abs as well if we can. Otherwise, you are balancing on the ball to stabilise the pelvis. Frog legs for hips and pelvic floor. So you're still working hard, just knock off that little extra bit into the abs. Hands are staying down to stabilise us. Make sure you rotate and open the hips before you frog leg. So I'm coming into my last one. And then when you have finished, either stretch across the ball or take it away. I'm going to stretch across the ball first, have a couple of breaths. And then from there, I'm going to take my ball away and give my knees a hug or maybe a pelvic tilt. I'm going to put my ball under my head. And then we'll finish with a leg stretch when you're ready. So taking your band around your right foot, please. Pulling the elbows down, pushing the heel up. Sliding the bottom leg away. And then we want to get resistance, create tension in the back of the right hamstring and hold it. Hold it until the tension starts to ease. It won't go away, but just once it eases, take a breath in, and as you breathe out, draw the whole leg closer, please. Do that without imprinting the spine or lifting the bum. Push the tailbone down. You can flex and point your foot if that assists the stretch, but all the time pulling on the band. And then just taking the whole of that right leg into a sway or a circle to release everything that's attaching through the hip. And that might be with the bum down or up. It might just be with the band right and left hand, or it might be one or both. So just move that leg around quite freely and see how everything feels that attaches through the hip. Finding a tight bit, then you are just staying on that tight spot until it eases off. And then we're coming back to center and we are changing feet, please. Elbows pulling down, bottom leg extending. Pulling in and holding. So creating tension and then allowing the tension to ease off. And on the next out breath, pulling to the next point of tension. And then swaying or circling the leg. So if you want to hold on the hamstring a bit longer, that's okay. If you find inner or outer thigh need a bit more of a stretch, or glute, go there. And we do a bit of everything. And when you're ready, release, get rid of the band and come on over onto all fours, please. So from here, rolling through flexion and extension of the spine. Once again. And then coming through downward dog when you're ready. So holding the downward dog and pushing the heels down, or maybe pedaling the feet. Just do what feels good there. And then gradually walking the hands in and uncurling the spine and coming to the standing position. Let's stretch up, push to the ceiling and inhale. Exhale, come across to the right and come center, inhale. Exhale, come across to the left. Come on up slowly. Lower your arms and shoulder roll. And then rotate the spine. Super, give yourselves a clap. Brilliant. Come on in. It's lovely to see you all back this morning.